Netcasts you love.
From people you trust.
This is TWiT.
Bandwidth for iPad today is provided by CacheFly at CacheFly.com.
Coming up on iPad today, TWiT alum Eileen Rivera joins me, and we're going to pit iOS against Android and let them fight to the death. All that plus crooks are stealing iPads Goodfellas style, and you think I'm kidding, but I'm actually not. And Flipboard and Apple are teaming up. What does it mean? All that and these aren't the birds you're looking for on iPad today. This episode of iPad Today is brought to you by GoToMyPC by Citrix, which connects you directly to your Office Mac or PC from any other computer and from your iPad and iPhone too. Sign up for a 30-day free trial at GoToMyPC.com and use the promo code iPad. And by Ford, featuring Available Sync. Now you can control your media player with simple voice commands. Enjoy your drive while you easily search and listen to your favorite songs. Check it out on the 2012 Ford Focus and at Ford.com/technology. And by the all-new Slingbox, which can turn your mobile device into a television. With the all-new Slingbox, you can watch high-def TV on your smartphone, laptop, or tablet anywhere there's an internet connection. Check it out at slingbox.com/twit. Hello, everyone. Welcome to iPad Today, episode 124.
124?
Yes.
Wow.
I know. It seems like just yesterday. It actually doesn't. It seems like a 2 years and counting. Yeah. Hey, Eileen Rivera, how are you?
Hi, Sarah Lane.
It feels so natural having you here, but you, as we were sitting down for the show, by the way, you're filling in for Leo Laporte this week, and thank you very much for doing that.
I have some big shoes to fill.
Well, I mean, big just in general, you know? I mean, you look pretty small in that chair.
I didn't say it.
But hi.
Hi.
Hi. So I when you were sitting down before the show, because if anyone is like, I don't know, not familiar with TWiT, Eileen Rivera was our supervising producer for 2 years?
Almost, yeah.
Almost 2 years, as well as the co-host of All About Android. Mm-hmm. Which you had your last show just a couple nights ago, isn't that right?
Tears.
Yeah.
Tears. Yeah, I did my final show as a co-host of All About Android on Tuesday.
Because you are moving on to, Google's going to be your new employer because you're going to be working at YouTube.
Yes, very true.
Kind of made sense to, you had to choose one or the other.
Kind of, yeah. Cut the ties. I mean, there might be some weirdness, some internal memos, you know, things that I can't really talk about, and I don't want to have to recuse myself a lot on the show. So
yeah,
I just thought,
you
know, it's probably easier. Plus, I'm moving to LA.
You're moving to LA,
and I'm not even going to be able to come in studio anymore.
Right, and if all things go well, you'll probably be really busy. You know, it's like you're not like you're gonna be like, I got nothing to do on Tuesday anyway. Why don't I call into All About Android?
Well, you know, we talked about me possibly coming on as a guest every once in a while because I use my Android phone all the time.
Sure.
So, kind of grew up on that show using Android.
So true.
You know, I was such a noob, and then I started rooting and ROMing, and then I just started kind of like really digging in, and you know, as a part of the show. So hopefully they'll have me back.
Yes. Well, I know that everyone's very sad not to have you on All About Android, but you can come back as a guest for sure. And on this show anytime, too. It's funny, last week, Shannon Morse Snubs was my co-host, and it was funny because she's a huge iPad nerd, and I was like, I don't know, I just thought you were like Linux lady or something. I don't know why I thought that, and she's like, well, I am.
Right.
But, you know, I don't choose one OS over the others. I just like it all. So it's nice to know that someone who's very Android heavy also has an iPad that you love.
You know, I had the original iPad. I actually started, my first smartphone was an iPhone. I thought it might be a Trio back in the day or something, but then I had a Mac computer, and then it kind of clicked, like, you know, the iPhone and my Mac computer all kind of sync. So I broke out phone-wise about 2 years ago now. So I have my Android phone, but I've always had an iPad, and you know, I've always had apps on the iOS ecosystem, and I have enjoyed my experience using iPad. And now, you know, in February, I upgraded to the latest and greatest iPad 3, which just got discontinued.
No, it just got upgraded again.
It just got upgraded again.
Thank you, Apple. You're the best. Yeah. Well, I remember. I think I saw something from you on Twitter, and you were like, "That sucks. Feels like a slap on the face."
Yeah, I was a little upset, but now I have a collector's item, and I still have my 30-pin connector. So there.
There you go. Yeah,
I can
it's gonna
still
be worth
use,
a lot.
I don't have a device with the Lightning dock connector, so everything still works in my world.
Right.
And I have a nice Retina display and everything, and I have all my apps. So
it's all good.
Yeah.
And you've never sat on this set for a show before.
Never.
That is so weird. Just because you used to produce all the shows.
Yeah, I produced Triangulation, various shows here, but not me actually talking and sitting. So this is weird. I'm like, oh, these are the chairs.
Yeah.
I mean, we had meetings here and stuff, but that's completely different.
I don't know. I love to complain about the living room set just because the chairs are a little bit strange. But hey, it's our set, so we love it. And now I've got Angry Birds behind me, so
I know.
that's even cooler than ever. It's just getting better and better. So speaking of Android, we thought, all right, well, what's our theme going to be on the show today? And it made perfect sense to not pit iOS against Android, but to pick your brain a little bit for somebody who uses both OSs regularly. Mm-hmm. How do they differ, and what is really better on one versus the other? Because I don't have an Android device, and I don't know enough about the Android operating system to know, well, if I have, two different camera apps, for example, that there might be one on Android that's so much better than my iOS device. I know that the obvious stuff like Maps and certain native Google apps that are clearly going to be better on an Android device. But what about the other stuff that just takes some playing around to figure out?
Yeah, I mean, I think the big thing about Android is that there is a lot of system customizations that you can have on your device as compared to iOS. I will say that there's a lot of apps on iOS that are the same on Android that run a lot smoother on iOS. And the ecosystem, I think, on Android is catching up, but but there are still some premium apps on iOS that you just can't get yet, or maybe they'll never come to Android. I don't know. One thing that I really like, and I've got my Nexus 7 here. There's a couple things, and I mean, check out my, you can kind of see my iPad seeping in here. But these are called widgets. And what you can do here is you could put a widget of your calendar, which I've done here. Look, I'm reminded that iPad today is today. And I've got a little widget here for my Amazon MP3 player, so I could just go up here and hit play, and then I can hear a song play right up the top.
Nice.
You can see that I was listening to Earth, Wind, and Fire on this particular music player as well. I've got a little weather widget here that I can move, and these are just a few examples of customization. I like the dock here where I can have, I could just kind of safely tuck it away down here on the bottom of the tablet. I've got all my social stuff here. I've got all my reading stuff here. I've got all my Google stuff here. Here I've got some video apps, and here's my music, and then I have the store. I kind of like things a little more neat as opposed to, the tons of folders. That's what I really wish I could do customization-wise, is just kind of like push everything down so I could see Django's pretty face right here without all these folders around. And I could do that by just not having any of these apps on this page. I get that. But even if you put apps on this page, it all kind of goes up to the top, and I can't I guess you can jailbreak, you could do things like that, but every time I used to jailbreak any iOS device, there'd be something that would be missing that I don't want to jailbreak because I'm going to lose X. Then iOS updates, and then that,
and you need a new jailbreak, and Leo and I sort of stay away from jailbreaking tips just because we know we would get so much more help support requests from people saying, now what do I do? So, but I agree with you. In essence, you can't really do much about that home screen. You can move stuff off of it and bury them on a second page, but that doesn't really solve the problem.
No. And some people, we'll go back to the Nexus 7 here, some people are way more design literate than I am, and they've got crazy widgets that have font coming down here. It looks very clean and simple, and it's just as easy as this. So once you have an app, a lot of these apps here have widgets that you can just kind of play with. And what do I want here? Let me put, I know I was going to pick one, G+. If I wanted the G+ widget, you kind of drag and drop on a second screen, and then you pick, which I'm just going to say friends or whatever. So on this page, you could see that now I've got this widget here, and then I can kind of resize. I can do whatever I want.
Oh, that's cool.
See,
yeah.
You could do stuff like that, and this is just a widget of stuff that I've taken pictures of or screen grabs of. Not very interesting right now, but
it kind of brings back that whole sort of like pride of home screen ownership type thing, you know, where you're like, this is what mine looks like, because on iOS,
you can't really do that.
Hey, you put whatever you want in folders, but everything looks the same, you know?
Yeah. Other things besides the widgets, another app that I really, really like is, and there's many apps like this, is called Go Launcher X. And see here, what I could do here is I could change my whole landscape of what my home screen looks like and what my entire device looked like, from like just swiping left and right to pages, from widgets again and whatnot. There's a lot of customization here, and this is just one app. There's many other apps just like this that you could just, and this is, once you launch Go Launcher X, now you can go in here and just start customizing. You can go into settings, and then, oops, not settings, sorry. You can go into edit or preferences. You can change themes. That you can download free themes. It's really crazy. It gets really crazy. This is actually a Go Launcher X theme that I really like. It's just a pretty like sunset wallpaper, but you know, you can purchase, you can download themes, which gets really crazy. It's kind of loading, so so you can have crazy wallpapers that not just the wallpapers, the icons on your device will all change too, and you can change them back, and it's just
that's such a fundamental difference between iOS and Android, right? Is iOS is like, you download whatever you want to download as long as it's in the App Store, but it's going to look the way it's going to look.
Exactly.
And Android is like, I don't know, just have fun. Download anything you want. We don't care what it looks like.
Good luck.
And I'm not saying one is better than the other, but that is something that people usually have a very strong preference towards one or the other. You want something that's clean and unified, or you want to make it your own.
Right. Yeah. That's one big difference. One other thing that I wanted to talk about was keyboards and alternate keyboards, which I have here Swipe. For those of you who have
Swipe with a Y.
Swipe, SWYPE. And so what I can do here is not just type on it, I can say, hi. Oh, I already tried. Look, I already wrote a note to you here, but I'm going to write another one. Hi, Sarah. Let's see. This is swipe in action. Period.
That is.
And I love it on a tablet. I really, really love.
Because you've got enough room to kind of use that
on
finger.
My phone, I really don't care. But on a tablet, it is fantastic. It's just like it's like drawing really quick.
And you feel like once you get the hang of it, it's not actually making you type more slowly.
No, I don't think so. And I feel like it's just a little more fluid. It's kind of, to me, for me at least, it's been a little more accurate than just typing.
Yeah.
There are a lot of other keyboards that are different. Some that really do sort of predictive text. So once it learns your mannerisms, there's another app called SwiftKey that once you type, it's starting to learn, oh, you're going to probably say X.
Right.
And then you can just hit the buttons at the top of the keyboard that have the actual word, which is really interesting. So that's another thing that I love, is just having the option to have different keyboards.
Because on iOS, you can't make changes to the keyboard. It's that native keyboard.
And as an iOS user for a long time, I'm fine with that. But knowing here, going to a different ecosystem and having the options is pretty cool. I'm like, oh, this is awesome, and I love the swipe thing. I think that would be something that iOS would benefit from. For some people, if they just want to try it out or whatnot. I mean, I think it's a pretty handy kind of way to type, especially on a tablet. It's fun.
So Swipe and SwiftKey was the other one that you mentioned.
SwiftKey was the other one. Yeah. One more thing here differentiates. Android is customizations of your notification screen, which I really like too. So I have this app here called One Tap Quick Bar, and essentially what it does for me is it gives me customizations it gives me toolbars that I create on my notification pane. So I can just, with the swipe down, turn off Wi-Fi. I don't have to dig into settings. I don't have to go and do anything like that.
Love it.
I can turn that one back on really quick. I've battery junkie, so I can go in here and it's like, oh, how much? Oh, okay, I've got 94%. Great, that's awesome. Just little things like that, and you can customize whatever you want. surprise, surprise, to be on that toolbar. So you can have system settings, you can have apps be on those toolbars. You can have up to like 5 or 6 of these little quick one-tap settings on the notification bar. Shortcuts, you can even have contacts. You know, if there's someone, I could put Tom on there. I always contact Tom, so it'll be faster for me instead of going into contacts. I usually like the settings tab because there's lots of things here like turning off Bluetooth, you know, brightness and things like that, which I think are really handy to have just at the quick swipe of your finger. So now
Wi-Fi alone, that
would be really great,
yeah.
right? Yeah. So those are some of the things that I think, you know, Android excels in, but it's really sort of system-wide, not necessarily so much, you know, sort of functions of apps. And that's one of the key differences, I think. That's why, you know, I think a lot of Android people love to tinker, you know, and they love to mess around and dig in a little bit more, and that's just really kind of scratching the surface. But those are some of the things that I really enjoy on both the phone and the tablet that I wish would come to iOS.
Now, what about, is there anything on iOS that you say, I wish this came to Android. It's just ridiculous. I really can't pick up that Nexus 7 and run anything like the experience that I have on the iPad.
Twitter apps! I am famous for ranting and raving, and I love everybody in the Android world that are like, oh, did you know that Echo Phone came to Android? Yes, I know it came to Android, and it's not very good yet. It's just not the same. It's just not fluid. There's not a lot of the swiping left and right to see the conversations like you can.
Now, you're running TweetBot.
I'm running TweetBot right now. I love it. I also like TweetLogix. I used to run Asphora for a long time. I mean, even in some cases, you know, even though I know a lot of people on iOS don't like the official Twitter app, it's kind of better on iOS than it is. There's some you know there's some functionality on there that's a lot more fluid than it is on Android.
Oh, so it's just, is it mostly just motions and the
Things
way
like
that
and UI?
Yeah.
Some of the UI, I mean, I can show, I mean, you guys have seen this before, but it's just not...
well, you know, a lot of people on iPad today may not have.
Oh, maybe they haven't. I mean, it's just...
Some of these folks are like, gosh, Android OS, I don't know.
It's fine.
It's new to me.
I mean, this works. Most people will be fine with that, but look at, there's, I don't know, there's just some, it's fine. It's fine, but that's it. You know?
It's fine, but it's not. There's no app that you say, "Oh, I love this. This is my number one."
Plume is okay too. There's some swiping on the you know, left and right here that you can do as well. But look at, I mean, and then you can increase the font size. You can, you know, it's getting better. But overall, I think I enjoy the experience of something like this. It's just easy. There's a lot more options for me. You know, if you go into settings, there's a lot, you know, RTs and I don't know. I mean,
TweetBot specifically has some great settings,
exactly.
even that the official Twitter app doesn't have. But if you, and Tapbots, which is the company that makes TweetBot, doesn't have an Android app?
Nope.
They have an app.net app, for goodness sake. Why don't they have an Android app? You know?
It's just one of the gripes that I have that I wish, I mean, I do keep going to use, if I'm going to use a tablet, I like to use Twitter on my iPad for the most part. There are some really good readers, you know, when I'm reading news and whatnot, but my favorite, and this is old school, is Reader, R-E-E-D-E-R.
Oh,
you're not
alone. People love Reader.
That is not on Android, and I use the official Google Reader app, which is fine on my Nexus, but this is just much more of a great experience to do stuff like that.
Well, and Reader could be your Google Reader. I mean, it doesn't need Google Reader, but I mean, you could just port everything that you have on Google Reader over and
that's what I
search
do.
It through Reader.
I also love the fact that there's just so many options. So if I wanted to share, I mean, this has the most options that I can share with, you know, whether it's Pinboard or Delicious or Pocket or Evernote or whatever. It's just, I don't know, just the experience on here, reading, and just kind of moving back and forth from topic to topic. I loved opening it up like that. I just love the whoosh, two finger open up.
Sure.
And looking at I mean, it's experiences like that that aren't necessarily on Android yet. So it's just a sort of a more kind of elegant kind of experience, and that's just one app, but it makes a difference when when I try to explain sometimes to some of my wonderful Android listeners, like, well, it's kind of better there. Like, well, I don't need that. I'm like, you're right. You probably don't need it, but once you try it, it's like you can't go back. It's like, oh, I don't want to go backwards in my experience.
Right.
Which is why I do go back to my iPad here and there for various apps. I also...
I think also probably if you've got one of each device, then it's easy to say, oh yeah, I just go back and forth.
Can do that, yeah.
I don't hate anybody, equal opportunity. And folks who just have the one device kind of have to justify that they got the one that's good enough.
And
so
it's
they
fun.
say, I don't need it.
You're right. You probably don't need it. You probably don't. We work in technology, so we can.
We've got gadgets coming out of our ears.
Exactly. So, but as part of our job to tell you what the differences are, those are kinds of the things that I run into. Let's see here. There's just some apps that, I use my iPad device as an entertainment device quite a bit, and I watch a lot of TV shows. So ABC Player, not available yet on Android. I watch some ABC shows on there. Amazon Instant Video, not available on Android. Not a surprise there, because I don't know if that's ever going to come. But I love this app. I don't know about you, Sarah, but I have been using Amazon. Well, I have an Amazon Prime account, and I've been using it to watch video almost more so. Oh, my Wi-Fi connection's not so great. More so than Netflix. Sometimes I don't know why.
Well,
sometimes the selection
they're close competitors, but they're not the same. They're not the same selection. You find one, or it's
or it's like one studio will be on Netflix, or they leave Netflix and then we're on Amazon now. So
just depends on what you want to watch at whatever particular time.
But yeah, I mean, I think both ecosystems are great, and they are. I still tip my hand over to iOS in terms of the availability of apps. I mean, we don't got letterpress on Android.
That's sad.
That's really sad.
That's what a reason
people don't
to
understand.
Have iOS specifically for that game. I don't know why we're not playing each other.
I know. I don't know why.
I beat Tom once, and he doesn't want to play anymore. He was like, that's the end of that.
You know what? There were a couple people that I played. Apologies to you out there, but I have just said no more. I'm tired of losing to you, and you know who you are. I'm done. Good job. Congratulations for beating me, but no more. I don't want to be a loser anymore.
I'm about to be beat by Renee Ritchie, who's one of our Mac Break weekly hosts now, also of iMore. He is one of these like show-offy letterpress people. So I'm like, look at me, I just got 10 points. And then he'll be like, you have 0 now. Play that, and I blocked all your vowels. It's like, jeez, harsh.
Cruel.
Very harsh.
Some people are just really competitive.
You know, when you were talking about Reader, someone in chat said something like, or maybe it was TweetBot, said something like, oh, I heard those devs don't like Android. Well, do you think that, because I think not so much TweetBot, but Reader comes across to me as a very Mac-looking app. I mean, it's in iOS, but it seems like, there are certain programs that always seem like, oh yeah, that's a company that's really very Apple-y, and they sort of have a kind of a design philosophy that seems to match. I don't think it would behoove a developer ever to say, I don't like Android, so I'm just not going to allow anyone on Android to use my app. But there's probably a little bit of that going on.
I think there might be. I think that culture might still be there. It took Instapaper forever to get on Android.
That's
it's
true.
finally there, but I don't believe he built it. He had a third-party company build that particular app for Android. You know, I mean, there's scaling issues. There's, numerous device issues. Yes, it can be probably a little bit more difficult to develop for Android than it is one 10-inch iPad. Well, now there's 2 different phones, but really that's not that much comparative to all the different devices on Android. But I do think it's possible, and I think people should I think developers, if they can afford it, a lot of it is that, well, I can't test on these devices and whatnot. I think things are getting a little bit easier for devs these days in the Android space, so maybe we'll see that change. But as of now, things are still coming to iOS first. Although, my game today, my app for the app cap, I was very like, oh, look, it's on both platforms, and it's a huge, huge thing. I won't spoil it.
Yeah, you can't tell me about your app cap is going to be. That's later in the show. All right. Well, thank you so much for the little Android lesson. I feel
a
like
little bit. It's just a little bit. I mean, I
it's
know.
good.
I hopefully, those of you who are Androiders are like, oh, you forgot to mention blah blah blah. Slow, slow and it's easy.
Yes,
into it.
And every time we talk about, I don't know, some competing tablet to the iPad or a different OS, we'll get to people who'll write in and say, this is iPad today, it's not Android today, and that's true. But it's always nice to know how your operating system differs from a competitor. And yes, they are competitors, even though they can, an owner can have both and play nicely between the two. But you feel good about your choice. Now you know what's better, or a little bit more about what might be better about your iPad that's special that other iOSs don't have, and vice versa. All right, moving on. I'm not going to get too much more into Android versus iOS. A quick reminder that we do record the show live at 1 p.m. Pacific time, 4 p.m. Eastern time on Thursdays. It's really fun. We try to bring in the chat room as much as possible for all our live viewers. Thanks for watching us live. But if you can't watch us live, you can always go to twit.tv/IPT. That's our show page. That's where all of our episodes live. That's where our subscription links are. So if you say, I love this show, it's the best, but I don't know, I can't remember to watch on Thursdays, and Sarah never remembers to tweet, and Leo never tweets at all, what do? And then you just subscribe, and then it's just downloaded for you, and then you just watch it whenever you want. Watch on your Apple TV or something. I mean, you've got all sorts of choices there. We have an audio feed too. If you love the show, but you just don't really have time to watch it, you can always listen to it while you're doing other stuff. So thanks to everybody who watches every week. Always shoot us an email at iPadtoday@twit.tv with questions, comments, ideas, tips, tricks, all that good stuff. Hey, Eileen, why don't you... Oh, just if you point it up a little bit, then we won't get any more scratchies. All right, I'm going to go into our first sponsor. Let's take a little break and think about how awesome it would be if somehow our office PCs or our home computer that's in our spare bedroom could just kind of like pack up and go with us wherever we went. So that way you never have to worry about are all my files on all of my computers. You just have the one that's in your little suitcase. Well, that seems like a pipe dream, but it actually isn't with GoToMyPC, because you know why? GoToMyPC has an app now. Yeah, Citrix knows what you want. I can go ahead and download the GoToMyPC app on my iPad or my Android device. Eileen can do the same thing on her Nexus 7 or a Kindle Fire, anything. Well, virtually anything that exists to access the computer of your choice. Talk about convenient. It is the #1 tool for remote access to access your computer. And it's not just like, oh, I need to read something that's on a PDF that's sitting in my, downloads folder on my computer. You can work on your computer as if your computer is in front of you. It is your virtual computer. With GoToMyPC, you can access your entire Mac or your entire PC. You can work on any program, save, edit, send a file. If Russell here at TWiT goes, oh, Sarah, I need those charts, I need those graphs that you've been doing for me, he would never ask me to do that. But if he did, and I was on my office computer and then I forgot to send, and then I'm like 200 miles away for Thanksgiving weekend, it's like, oh my God, Russell's gonna fire me. Then I could just go ahead and go to my PC on my iPad app and send that file off, finish it if I have to. It's amazing. It really, really, really is a great way to not have to stress about where all your stuff is, because you've got your computer wherever you want to be. You can try out GoToMyPC free for 30 days. Just visit GoToMyPC.com, click on the Try It Free button, can't miss it, and then enter the promo code iPad, IPAD. That's the promo code iPad at GoToMyPC.com to try it free for 30 days. Save yourself a lot of tears. And thanks to GoToMyPC and Citrix for sponsoring this episode of iPad Today. Eileen, have you seen this story? Ooh. It almost sounds like something from a Martin Scorsese movie. In fact, the New York Post said, it's like real life Goodfellas. $1.5 million of iPads were stolen from JFK Airport.
What?
Yes, true story. A pair of brazen cooks, says the New York Post, punched a hole in the lax JFK security. So, a proverbial hole.
Wait, did this happen during the storm?
It happened, no, it was, well, I mean, in the wake of the storm.
Yeah.
This is Monday night,
Oh,
just before
gosh.
midnight.
Okay.
iPad minis, mind you, so the good stuff. Worth 1.5 million, you know, this is basically cargo. From the same cargo building, oh my gosh, no, this is why this is real life Goodfellas. I didn't even see this detail till now. The same cargo building that was the site of the 1978 Lufthansa heist featured in Goodfellas. Oh no, you know what, I just made it seem like I think that's cool, and it's not cool to steal.
No, it's not.
But I do really like that movie.
Yes.
So,
And this, okay.
Okay, I don't know. I don't know what to think. Why is it so easy for people to steal things from airports? The crooks struck shortly before midnight and Monday and used one of the airport's own forklifts. This gets better and better. To load 2 pallets of the tablet computers into a truck, according to law enforcement sources. So I don't know if that's the police actually saying, yeah, this is what happened. But somebody's telling the New York Post that.
Do we trust the Post?
Well. Oh, the thieves drove off, leaving 3 more pallets of the Apple tablets behind after they were challenged by an airport worker returning from dinner. But they're still at large with the iPads that they did steal.
So they knew the iPads were going to be there. Maybe this was an inside. There was a mole. There was somebody who has access.
Somebody's going to make a screenplay out of this.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if it's going to be good or not. Wow. So, all right, the Goodfellas thing is that's just weird. Because, of course, you know, that movie's based on a true story, but whatever. I wonder...
And then they based their heist on a movie.
But but they must. I was going to say, but then the shipping company could track down all of the numbers that are associated with the iPad, so it's like you could never resell them. But I mean, that's what happens right now, where if somebody steals my iPad out of my hands, they do not care.
Oh,
I mean,
no.
they don't even want my data. They don't care if I remote wipe it or whatever.
Right.
It's all black market stuff.
And that's exactly what's happening. Poor little iPad minis.
I know.
They were supposed to probably go to people who ordered them. Aren't they
Oh.
like in back order now or something?
Oh, they sure are. I'm waiting for mine, in fact.
Oh,
That's what I heard. It was leaving
Yours
Shanghai
could've been-
safe and sound.
maybe it got to JFK and now it's with these people.
It's with these masked capers. Oh boy. Well, so they grabbed
That's
about
really sad.
3,600 of the minis that were being shipped by a company called Cargo Airport Services, which said that the iPads had just arrived from China and were destined for locations around the U.S. If that's one of mine.
It's one of
The
yours.
story becomes a lot less funny.
Have you seen your shipping? Like, have you looked at, you know, coming soon or arrived? or-
The last okay, you know what?
I
let's
do want to
just-
know,
let's
because what
find
if
out.
Sarah Lane's iPad mini are with these
Hell
masked
to
robbers?
Hell to
This
pay.
is horrible. Important
Information about your order. Let's look. Good news. No, wait, that's not the right one.
It is
They
in-
send me a million things.
Her iPad mini is...
One of your items has shipped. Let's look at the order.
I feel like we need some sort of...
Track shipment.
Put
FedEx.
them down.
No, mine's still in Shanghai.
Okay.
So they say. They'd probably tell me that if it got picked off at JFK. Which means that it's not going to be here anytime soon. Ayaz got his today, so I'm just sort of jealous because it's a little earlier than it said it might be arrived.
Oh, man. Now, did you order it on the day of?
I did, but I didn't do it at midnight.
Oh, okay.
So I'm in wave 2.
Yeah.
I get what I deserve. Because I didn't do that
You
right
don't
at midnight.
deserve your iPad mini being stolen by a bunch of masked robbers.
That's true.
Nobody does.
But if I really cared, I would have not gone to bed at 11:30 that night. I would have stayed up till midnight. I would have ordered the iPad mini instead of ordering it first thing in the morning. Hey, these things happen. It'll happen. The thing that sucks is that now my estimated date of delivery is the day that I'm going away for Thanksgiving.
Oh, so it's going to be sitting at your home.
It's going to be sitting here.
Sarah.
I get everything delivered here because I'm never home to accept deliveries, and then I always have to end up going to a FedEx facility, and it's not worth it. So whoever's here on Tuesday, enjoy my iPad mini for a few days. Try not to, drop it in the toilet or anything.
That's a bummer because I would think that device would be really great to travel with. Because, I mean, I like to just throw my Nexus 7 in my purse. It's so light.
Exactly.
You know, hardly ever travel with my iPad. That's just me, though.
And that's what a lot of people who have minis now say is like, everything seemed fine about the full-size iPad.
Yeah.
Well, some people said, oh, I always thought it was heavy. I don't remember people saying that really all that much.
Yeah.
But now that there's a mini, it's like, boy, this guy looks big and bulky.
Yeah.
You know, especially since we've all gotten used to like smaller, smaller, smaller. Although now the smartphones are getting bigger, bigger, bigger. So
they're all gonna cross. I mean, with the Note and everything is just, we're messed up.
Well, it's kind of. I always make the comparison to cars. It's like cars. We finally figured out how to make a car as aerodynamic as possible. So like now what? So they're just like little changes that happen. It's like cosmetic stuff.
Yeah.
And the internals get better,
Yeah.
right? You know, now we have like really cool radio integration. And well, we'll talk about that later when we get to our Ford ad. But anyway, that's the heist. Stay safe out there, JFK travelers. So Eileen, have you, this is actually something I have no idea if it's on Android or not.
Okay.
It's an app called Paper, and it is...
No, that's a beautiful app. Not available.
Not available. This is actually one of those apps that I didn't know, so I asked you, but seems like it would be, the developers made it for iOS and nothing else type of a thing. If you don't remember, Leo and I have talked about Paper when it first came out some time ago. You could think of it as like a sketcher, as an art canvas, as a note taker. It can be all sorts of things. What's kind of cool about Paper is they have a new version that, it's not actually a new version, it's an in-app purchase for $1.99.
Oh.
But what that does is allows me to mix my own color palette as if it was actually, a tin of paint. And what I mean by that is, so I've got this little palette here, so, I'm picking a color that's, it's sort of like a mauve type thing, right? And I'm using my sort of calligraphy type pen. If I want to mix in some blue into this, I go ahead and just I hit the blue color, and then I start to swirl.
Oh.
And it starts to slowly but surely. If I do a little bit too much, I go, nah, I don't want that much blue.
Oh, you go back and go.
Yeah, I want just this
cool.
much, and then here's my color. So this is because Paper. When it came out, Leo and I were like, oh, cool, it's like a doodler app,
Yeah.
And it turns out that people who have a lot of artistic talent are like, no, this is like a canvas for an artiste, right? So if you're an artist, there are a certain amount of colors that come custom with Paper.
Oh, okay.
But you can't mix them in this way. So this is a very cool thing. Now, of course, I don't really recommend an in-app purchase of $2 for custom colors if you need precision like this, unless you really are an artist and you're kind of like, the whole like progress bar and sliding back and forth and faders is a little beneath me, or I want something a little bit more intuitive or tactile. So that's pretty cool. I'm into it. This is the sort of thing that you don't see in other apps. This is also the great app that has the rewind feature. So if I've made a bunch of changes, then I'm like, I like everything but that last doodle. I just go ahead and rewind. And then,
I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah,
I haven't
so it's
played
like,
with this app as much.
Right, because
Wow.
you've got an eraser. So you
Yeah.
could do this, but that's cumbersome if you're like, I just hate that whole last thing that I did. You just go, whoops. You just go ahead and rewind.
Oh.
Yeah, so I just sort of redid what I had did
That is
before.
cool.
Yeah,
I updated the app. I didn't have a chance to play with it yet. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's neat. I like, and yeah, so that's...
There you go.
Did it say $1.99 or 99 cents?
$1.99.
Yeah, so it's a $2 upgrade, but I think it was worth noting because it's so original. Mm-hmm. I really just haven't seen anything like that before that has quite as much precision. You know who likes Paper is former TWiT employee Nicole Lee.
Oh, she's
Every
a big
so often
Paper fan.
she'll upload a little design that she's made, and she's
it's on Paper?
Yeah, and she's really talented.
Oh.
I never remember her talking about sketching out stuff when she was here before, but
I am very.
I have noticed that.
Art deficient, so.
I am.
I love the app.
I can do this. I make squiggly snakes. That's what I do with this app.
That is a masterpiece. Sarah, I'm sure somebody will want that, Sarah.
Oh, I'm positive you're right. I'm just positive, yeah.
Look at that.
This is, hey, Leo. English too, yeah, cursive even. Yeah, they all look the same.
I love the dramatic effects with the black sort of spheres you've got going, or spears you've got
I'm
going.
a modern day Basquiat.
Yeah,
just
that
look
is.
at this. Now that I've got my
Now that you've got your mixer, it's
my
just
paint
gonna get
mixer,
better.
this is
and
you.
better.
There's no stopping me.
Oh, wow. Wow.
The colors are very nice, though. I
they are.
really do like that. So that's the new version of paper. Thought it was worth mentioning. Hey, you know what else is kind of worth mentioning because it's just weird? So Steve Wozniak, beloved Steve Wozniak, co-founder of Apple, is going to star in an iOS game, but not just any iOS game. This is an iOS game titled Woz with a Cause. True story. Starring also, it's a cartoon version of Woz.
Right.
Looks like him though.
Yeah, it does.
With Danny Trejo. It's called Danny Trejo's Vengeance. Woz with a Cause. Coming out on or before November 22nd, says the developer. It's supposed to coincide with Thanksgiving. And it's the two of them on an 8-bit platformer with weapons against all the bad guys in a city. It's a tie-in and promotional vehicle for Trejo's film Vengeance, which is due out next year. So it's actually preceding the movie. I don't know this movie, Vengeance.
I don't know this either. Danny Trejo.
I don't know.
Okay, good.
I'm just glad I said his name right.
I was, yeah, okay. Maybe I should IMDb the guy.
So, yeah, IMDb, this is kind of cool, though. So this is...
Damn, I'm like about Danny Trejo.
Okay,
somebody tell us.
So you know how Steve Wozniak is, he always seems like he's such a good sport about everything. You know, he's always up for an interview. He always has he's on his Segway.
Yeah.
He waits in line for iOS stuff because he doesn't get special treatment. And it's like, everybody loves the Woz. So it sounds like he's just got a really kind of good attitude about being part of this app. And maybe the Vengeance movie is something that he's really looking forward to, or he's Danny's friend. And Woz with a Cause on iOS, this is the synopsis. Apple co-founder and his wife, Jay Woz, are enjoying their evening together, taking a glide. Unfortunately, their otherwise quiet evening is ruined. Not by a competitive product release, but by the street thugs kidnapping Jay Woz. So Steve Wozniak's wife, Janet, is kidnapped. Your dynamic duo of Steve and Danny must hurry and swing into action as they tear up Fusion City in their quest to rescue Jay Woz.
Oh, so his wife gets to be in it too. That's awesome.
The game was initially announced on Deadline Hollywood, and it will be the first such title on Apple's iOS platform to feature the Woz, the co-founder of Apple. You know, he left Apple in 1987, but people still, Woz and Apple, you can't break the two apart. Absolutely.
Yeah. I'm having some issues with IMDb, but apparently he was a machete. He throws knives.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Sounds good.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's a certain film genre that the two of us aren't seeing enough of.
Yes, apparently.
I fall asleep in Casino Royale. You like vampire stuff. Where's there room for machetes?
Yeah. I should like it. It's violent, but I will watch if it's on Netflix. I will. Look that up.
There's room for it. There's time yet. So if you're excited, we can at least play the machete version of the iOS game. Hopefully next week. Like I said, on or before the 22nd.
Apparently he was in Breaking Bad, too.
Really?
What? Migbit says Danny Trejo was the head.
He was the head on the turtle. Well, if you haven't seen the
I know,
show,
I started to say and I didn't want to break, but that's so early, so.
Also, that's not a big role.
I know.
A really small one. Okay, well, cool.
There he is.
Oh, hi.
Hi.
Oh, you know what? I know this guy. I totally know him.
He looks familiar, yes.
Yeah. Okay. Well, there you
Sorry,
have
Danny.
it.
You're
Danny,
great. Oh, see, Grindhouse and Machete have not seen. I did see Dusk Till Dawn, but that was a long time ago.
Oh, so he's a Tarantino friend.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So he'll probably be in what's the new Tarantino film, Django Unchained or Charted? Whatever.
It's something Django because I always
DJ
think of your dog. Her dog's name is Django, so I don't just think of your dog when I think of Quentin Tarantino. Who can tell the difference between the two? Flipboard.
Yes.
Flipboard on Android versus iOS. How do you feel about all of that?
Pretty much the same, actually.
That's good.
Yeah,
That's good to hear.
It came to Android much later, but I would think that most of the features are pretty similar.
That's good.
Yeah,
'Cause
there's
Flipboard
nothing in there that I'm like, oh, they didn't have X.
Right. Well, there is one thing now.
Oh, okay. What's that one thing?
This is just announced today. Flipboard and Apple have teamed up to allow a books section of Flipboard. I'll actually show you rather than tell you because it's somewhat hard to explain. Okay, so if I'm on sort of my homepage, I think, oh, hey, there's Molly
look,
Wood.
there's Molly.
Yeah, hey, Molly. So I'm like, okay, well, what do I want to look at? I've got all my stuff bookmarked here, and as it updates, you get the nice little flip down, and so I can look at Hazewire, which is one of my favorite blogs to look at when I'm reading about news about my neighborhood. But I'm like, I want something different. Like, what else can I do? Well, until today, there was never a section called books. Now there is, and what that is a direct tie-in to the iBooks, to Apple's bookstore. So if I want to search for, I don't know, let's go it down into something that's kind of travel adventure, right? So I open up travel adventure. These are actually books that are available in iBooks.
I have that book.
Do you?
Yeah, but I haven't read it yet.
The Geography of Bliss.
It's sitting in my Kindle.
So if I go ahead and load that, I get a little bit of like this is what this book is about. I see the cover. Well, okay, so that's the next book. So you don't get too much. You get basically just a little blurb. And if I'm interested, maybe I've read enough. I'm like, I like this idea, or I was already looking for this anyway. I go ahead and download it, and then it takes me. It says this will open another application. Are you sure you want to leave Flipboard? Flipboard does this with a lot of applications. I say yes. Then I go into iBooks, and it takes me directly to that book.
Oh, very nice.
Slowly but surely. I think our network is just being squirrely.
Yeah,
it's not our fault. It's not our fault. It's just this always happens on iPad today. It's just it's sort of a cruel TWiT joke that happens to me. It's funny. I thought it was actually going to take me to the particular page, and that's not really. Oh, Nicole Lee, speaking of her, is now playing me in letterpress. I hope she is. That would be kind of fun. So I've now been dumped into the iBooks bookstore.
Okay.
It would be nice if I went straight to the book that I told Flipboard to send me to.
Because now
that's probably just a little bug. Let's try one more book and see if that was just a fluke. If I want to go ahead and say, I don't want to walk in Amazon. Come on, give me a break. Yeah, right?
It's like Machete?
No. Travel Florence. Oh my gosh, that's funny because I just sent out on Twitter this morning, hey, has anyone ever been to Florence in December? Thinking of doing something crazy. So if I said, yes, I want to hear all about Florence, then if I get taken to the iBookstore, then it goes ahead and... No, it just still takes me to the bookstore.
Oh.
No, it did. It took me to
there we
took
go.
me to a specific book. Yeah, so I guess that one geography book was just, I don't know, some wires were crossed or something. Here's my $4.99 book. If I want a little bit of a sample of the book, which is actually something that's nice with iBooks, I can go ahead and get that. Sometimes it'll give you the first couple pages or.
You know what I love with samples? Not to interrupt.
No, please.
Cookbooks.
Oh yeah.
You get recipes and photos and stuff
for free.
Yeah. You only get 20 pages, but hey, that's nice.
Yeah. I hadn't really thought about that. That's a really good one. Yeah. So I'm looking at what is this? The first however many pages. I mean, this is pretty much just my table of contents.
But you get some stuff in there.
You get a very
look, you get a map.
Yeah, you get a very good sense of what's this book going to be about. I mean, do I really want to spend $5 on this travel book? Is it going to help me? Do I want this on the iPad? So I am such a Flipboard fan that I think this is great. We talked about this a little bit on TNT earlier today, and Tom and I went, is this something that you want? And I was like, I think it's kind of crazy that Apple is doing. I mean, doesn't it seem almost a little strange that Apple's like, hey, not enough people are using iBooks, so Flipboard is a really cool company and they're kind of hip and happening. Maybe we should team up with them so that you can access Apple a different way. That's not very Apple to do that.
True.
Unless,
but maybe they're breaking out and they need to.
Or maybe there's more deep integration between Apple and Flipboard to come.
Ooh,
I'd love
music.
Or something like that. That would be great. And Flipboard and Twitter sort of have a weird relationship these days because Twitter is changing some of their API. Well, they're imposing some API restrictions that has not affected Flipboard yet. But companies are coming forward all the time. Some of you might, Tapbots was a great example of a company that's like, we have issues now with our with our, I want to say coins, with the tokens that we're allowed to dole out to our users, because now we have limits. Anyway, that's sort of a whole different conversation. But Flipboard it sort of remains to be seen. Is Flipboard going to not be able to integrate that well with Twitter feeds in the future? Because Flipboard really depends on that right now. But this would be a very interesting
kind of change.
Yeah.
And maybe because the user base is growing or whatnot, Apple's thinking, hey, this is a really good way to cross-promote more eyeballs to a part of our ecosystem that maybe not as many people are going to. So, I mean, I think it seems like at this point, though, more people are still dominant if you're reading an ebook on Kindles. Amazon App Store, so they're probably feeling like, well, this is another way, and more people are using Flipboard on maybe iOS, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
And, you know, trying something new.
Yeah.
More things, movies and...
everything.
Put it all in there.
Put it all in there. I spend so much time in Flipboard. I know you guys are just sick of hearing me talk about Flipboard, but I will talk about cool new Flipboard features when they roll out, and this is one of them. This is great. It kind of makes iBooks just that much more relevant, really. It's very easy for me to just never...
to go in there.
Yeah, I'm just not browsing the iBook store all that often. It's just not happening, but it's not because I'm not interested in a lot of these books. Eileen, the Apple Holiday Gift Guide is out.
It is?
It is. Yeah, this is something that Apple rolls out. It's not a huge deal, but it's something that the Apple folk look forward to every year. It's part of the official store, and it's really... just a highlight of certain things that you can get from Apple that are, so like iPad mini, that's very obvious. You know, smart covers, the new Retina display. But then you've got, there's a cool sort of like a pinball game, which is, that's that product. Pinball for iPad, which is, you know, it's sort of like almost like a dock that makes it seem like a cool pinball game. So this is the sort of stuff where it's like, I mean, do I need that? Well, maybe not, but that would be such a fun gift for somebody.
Yeah.
So this is Apple's way of just reminding all of us that there are some great gift-giving apps. The Apple Store exclusive, Chad, if you scroll back up just a tiny bit, see that guitar? It says Apple Store exclusive in red. Ooh. This one is really cool. This is a Fender USB Stratocaster guitar. It's not cheap, it's $200, but you hook it right into your iPad and you make some serious music. Love that.
Wow. See, so this is the one thing that's missing with Android is the number of kinds of peripherals that you could get on iOS versus Android. I mean, I don't know. Maybe there's a Stratocaster guitar. I kind of doubt it, but that's pretty cool.
So look at that. The Stratocaster guitar will hook into the 30-pin or the 8-pin. We've got USB there. Well, the USB.
There's no Lightning connector actually. It's USB out to 30-pin or USB out to USB.
Well, see? My iPad 3
it's a mini USB.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you look at the bottom of the device, there's a mini USB port at the bottom of the guitar. So it's compatible with your iPad via the 30-pin connector or the USB to your computer, I assume. But there is no Lightning connected.
Lightning connector. Let me think.
Is there a connector?
I'm so confused with there's where you could go USB to.
You just have the.
Well, I don't know. I guess you could sort of daisy chain it to another USB input to Lightning connector out, couldn't you? Well.
Wait a second. It says in compatibility, you can do it with the iPad mini.
With a Lightning to 30-pin adapter.
The adapter.
Yeah, of course. Duh. I even have one of those. I would find it hard to believe that they were like, exclusive.
I know.
New store. Not for the mini, though. Because that's not for musicians. Of course. So that's a great gift.
That's
if you know a
very
musician
cool.
and they've got an iPad, or maybe you're planning to get one of those too, that's like probably the best gift ever. So yeah, that's the holiday gift guide. You can just go to store.apple.com and there's a link right there. Okay, Eileen, let's take a little break and thank Ford. That's our second sponsor of this episode of iPad Today. I was sort of starting to get into, how cars are all futuristic now earlier in the show, and I realized, what I'm thinking of? I'm thinking about Ford cars. That's actually what I'm thinking of, because not all cars are actually very futuristic at all. Certainly not mine, because I don't have a Ford yet, but I'm certainly thinking about it because Ford has Sync's entertainment features. You've probably heard of Sync if you watch a lot of TWiT, but if you haven't, let me tell you about why it's so cool. First of all, you can browse your music collection. So any genre or album or particular artist or a playlist that you've built, a song title, like We Are Never Ever Getting Back Together by Taylor Swift, for example, I can just say, play We Are Never Ever Getting Back Together, or play Taylor Swift, or play Red. That's the album by Taylor Swift that the song is on. All using voice commands while I'm driving. So I'm not being dangerous, I'm not looking down, I'm not fiddling with my device, nothing like that. This is just on-board controls. With Playlist, you can voice activate control of your media player. So if you've got a media player that's hooked up, you can play a list of music that you're in the mood for. And what's cool is that Sync is smart enough to understand what's similar to the music that you already like. And we're all kind of used to that when, you're playing playlists of various, music streaming services now. You can say, play similar music. If you're kind of like in like a hard rock mood type of a thing, you can just sort of keep the party going, keep that genre going while you're on your drive, or while you're, waiting for your girlfriend to leave the mall because she takes 3 hours, whatever. You can listen to your entertainment on a lot of different devices, though. So voice control your music, whether it's on your smartphone. This would be Bluetooth streaming. That's all built in. A USB drive. Hey, those work too. An MP3 player, iPod, iPad. It's very, very easy to use Ford Sync. Extremely convenient. And you don't have to worry about if you've got some song on the tunes and you're like, this is the best. Gosh, I love this song. You can tag a song that you like. What Sync will do is transfer that to your iPod, and then you can purchase the song when you're safe and sound and out of your car and thinking about it later from the iTunes store later on. So you're kind of just, it's like bookmarking for songs. That's always comes in handy to me, because there's so many times that it's like I want to like pull out my iPhone and try to scan a song I'm hearing on the radio, and that's the old way of doing it. Ford offers Sync on every 2012 and 2013 Ford vehicle sold in the US of A, including the 2012 Ford Focus, out now. I see a ton of them on the road these days on my commute. If you're interested in Ford technology like Sync, a lot of other great stuff that they're doing, go to ford.com/technology. They've got a great website that's chock full of information on what Ford is doing to really stay on top of the competition when it comes to technology in vehicles. Vehicles of El Futuro. Ford.com/technology. And thanks to Ford for sponsoring this episode of iPad Today.
I can't remember who said it in the chat room, but that person in the chat room and I now have that Taylor Swift song in our head now.
Oh.
Play Taylor Swift. I'm ready. I was like, can we hear it? No, we won't do that for you.
I'm sorry. You know what? That was cruel. For anybody who's not watching the live feed, I tried to get everybody into this Taylor Swift song before our show started today, and nobody really appreciated it. It was.
I appreciated it.
Thank you. One person, one person of hundreds. We got a duh tip from Sam. I don't even know he didn't call it a duh tip. I don't even know if it's a duh tip. It's just sort of weird. Sam says, try this trick in Google Translate. Okay. Pick English as your language that you're translating from, and then translate iPad from English into Latin. So I was like, okay. I'll go ahead and open up Google Search in my Google app here, and where's
voice?
No, well, if I just
Google Translate, you need to go to Translate. Okay.
Yeah, well, but where is Translate? I did this earlier. Translate. Okay, so I go ahead and here I'm in Google Translate, English to Latin. So I've set this up beforehand. So IPAD. All right. Oops. Oh. Oops. Oh, I see. Leo. What in the heck? It's magic.
So
how did it know?
iPad in Latin is Leo.
Well, apparently, I don't know what to think. I didn't realize they had iPads when everybody was speaking the Latin back in Florence, back in the day. Yeah, it's kind of fun.
I would like to order a Leo.
I think it's
Sorry, I speak Latin. I want the square thing. The Leo.
Let's see what it sounds like if I actually have it speak it.
Leo.
And it's the way
it's like,
really
it's,
says his name.
Yeah. All right.
Leo.
So I don't know. Is that a duh tip? I don't know what it is. It's weird though. Apparently the Latin speakers know something we don't.
Apparently.
Or at least they knew it first. So thank you, Sam. That is never something that I ever would have found. I can say that with pretty much 100% certainty. You found an Easter egg that pretty much nobody else would ever find. So thank you for that. Much appreciated.
He's going to love that tip.
Yeah.
That duh tip.
It's a good duh tip. I know. I can't wait to tell him about it. We got an email from somebody. I forgot to write your name down. I'm sorry. But this somebody is not happy. Why isn't there a wish list in the App Store? There are a lot of games I'd like to try eventually, but I've got too many going right now to buy that one game that I found. And not everything is 99 cents, but maybe by the time I want a new game, I've forgotten about that one that looked cool. Why no wish list? Come on, Apple. That's a very good point. And in fact, I had gone into into iTunes because, or into the App Store rather, not iTunes, because I wasn't sure that this was correct. Because I was like, gosh, is there a wish list? I think maybe there is. There isn't. Not anything that I can find. It's certainly not on the iPad. You know, the App Store might be a little bit different on my Mac. Let me look and see if I can. No, I can gift the app. I can tell a friend. I can copy the link. I can share on Facebook or Twitter. But I see no place to add to a wish list, which is sucky. And I certainly can't on my iPad. So I was thinking, okay, well, maybe we could just do a janky little workaround where I could copy and paste the app URL to something like Pinterest. So, you know, why not? Okay, so if I go ahead and go into featured and I just pick something that's featured like Panna. All right, I don't have this app. Ooh, food and drink, I already like it.
Well, I downloaded it. Yeah, it's kind of nice.
Is it?
Yeah, there's in-app purchases to get more recipes, but you get some free ones in there too.
I love the cooking apps. I'm a little out of control. Okay, so if I go ahead and right arrow, I've got some choices, but I just want to go ahead and copy the link, right? So then if I go into Pinterest, no, that's Path. it looks a lot like the Pinterest logo. I have to search for it. If I go into the Pinterest app and I open it up, and this is like super clunky, and I realize this is not what you were asking for. You were asking for something native within the App Store. But if I just try to save this app, I can't. I wonder if it was have anything to do with the fact that it was a HTTPS? It shouldn't. No, it just doesn't work. Okay, well that's a bummer.
Well, a few people in the chat room have mentioned appshopper.com.
Yeah, that's true.
Have you tried that? I just started downloading it, but the Wi-Fi is not so great. But I went onto the website, and Chad, you can see appshopper.com.
Yeah, I've got App Shopper actually. You know what? That's a really good point. I'm glad who French Lady Nerd. I'm glad that
several people, yeah.
French Lady Nerd and everybody else in chat. So okay, so if I'm looking at popular apps here or what's new. Now I know Panna is new and notable in the App Store. I'm not seeing it in this list, so where is my search? Okay, go ahead and search for Panna. And there it is, yeah, iPad only. It's free, and I want it. And okay, then you log in because it's App Shopper, but you do see over in the left-hand corner here that there is a wish list. So I assume by wanting it, it does get added to a wish list. It doesn't, I mean, App Shopper, it's not the same experience as the App Store, but
because you still have to go to the App Store and buy it.
Yeah.
And, it'll still kind of port you through there. It'd be nice if the App Store actually had that built in.
It sure would, yeah. I don't really know why my Pinterest workaround, even though that's not a very, it's you're not really saving any steps by that. Why wouldn't you be able to save a link to an app in the App Store? It must have something to do with the fact that it doesn't want to recognize it as a web page. It just wants to redirect me on iOS. It's like a mobile Safari thing. All right, well, App Shopper, that's your answer. And we've obviously talked about it on the show before because I already had it downloaded. My memory doesn't work so good when you're on 124 episodes. Okay, we have a video from John. He has a question about Keynote.
Hey guys, my name's George and I'm a teacher in California. I'm trying to figure out how to get my Keynote onto my MacBook to allow me to turn into video that I can then post on YouTube. Lots of steps. I'm reading about something called WebDAV, but it's a little past me. Any suggestions? Thanks.
So, sorry, George. I don't know why I called you John. Those are two different names. Okay, so if I'm in Keynote on iOS, this is a beautiful, weird image of myself that I put together just for the purposes of instruction. And I want to, you know, I want to create a video out of this presentation. I should probably add some more slides. Here, let's add another one. Okay, so we got 2 slides. I want to make it a video, right? So it's, you know, something that's, you know, maybe there's 3 seconds and then it dissolves into the next slide. Okay, well, what are my options here? You've got share and print. So that's probably where you're seeing the WebDAV, George. I could copy to iTunes, but I know from previous experience that when I copy to iTunes, that doesn't actually copy unless I'm hooked up to my computer. So I'm not actually copying to the iPad version of iTunes. Doesn't actually do anything. If I open another app, well, okay, I get PowerPoint, PDF, or Keynote. Well, I'm already in Keynote. Okay, that's no good. Advanced, no, that's all sort of stuff for the presentation. So what's the deal? Now, I think, and please chat, if anyone knows if this is wrong information, let me know. Web 5133, you're speaking my language. iCloud now lets you sync between Keynote for Mac and Keynote for iOS.
Okay.
This is something that is possible. I believe it rolled out in iOS 6, maybe even before that. So if that's true, I do know that there is a feature in Keynote for Mac. It's up in your one of your drop-down menus where you can convert a presentation to QuickTime. So George, if you can just cloud sync between the two. Now I'm not sure though if you buy Keynote on your iPad, if you get Keynote on your Mac. Well, this would probably be easy enough for me to find out. I don't think you do.
I don't think you do either.
I don't think you do either. So that's a $20 purchase, the Mac version of Keynote. However, if you're a teacher and this is something that you're dealing with a lot, this, you know, maybe it's something that your school could pick up, or maybe it just is worth the price. But that should be the answer, because all you really need to do is get it back on your Mac, even if you create it on your iPad, and then you can make your QuickTime movie out of that. Now, to upload it to YouTube, there might be some conversion that has to happen, but it shouldn't be an issue. Once you've got a movie, you should be able to take it up to YouTube. It's probably something that you want your kids to see, your students. So hopefully that's helpful. And if anybody else has a better advice for how to do this, I don't know, even more easily, or any suggestions, please do let us know, iPadtoday@twit.tv, so we can help John out with his Keynote presentation. I have to admit, Eileen, I'm not that much of a presenter.
Me neither.
It doesn't come up that often.
I've never
I don't use it.
So sorry to not be helpful to you, George.
Now, have you used PowerPoint in the past? It's the same idea.
It's kind of the same idea.
Yeah.
And I have, but it's not my favorite thing to use.
No.
And luckily, I don't have to do that all the time.
Right.
But,
I think, well, if you have a lot of speaking engagements, if you are teaching, you know, you have to have something up on the screen in front of a class. I remember when, really dating myself, you know, it's like the teacher would have the clear piece of paper down, you know, with the, I don't even know what it was like a projector kinds,
thing,
and then the little pen, and
an overhead projector.
It was an overhead projector. Yeah, it was like when chalkboards became new and technological. The teachers would just write with the pen, and everything would stink. It's like now I guess teachers just are like, how about Keynote on an iPad? That makes a lot more sense, you know. And then the students for homework can look at the Keynote in video form on YouTube. Wow. George, you don't say where you teach, or you just said California. I don't know how old your kids are, but they're probably, pretty used to this. So maybe they have some other alternatives that we didn't cover here. Reminder, we love your feedback on iPad Today. We'd love to hear from you. You can write us at iPadToday@twit.tv. You can leave us a voicemail at 757-504-IPAD. This week we got a voicemail from somebody who wanted us to cover more wallpaper apps.
Oh.
And I was like, wallpaper apps? Like apps that give us wallpaper options, I guess. Well, I don't know. I guess people want that. I usually just put whatever's,
Whatever photo you have?
Yeah, or just something from a camera roll. You've got Django on your iPad type
I'm just
of thing.
searching for wallpaper now on the store.
So yeah, I mean, it's sometimes, so we don't always play your voicemails, but believe me, we do listen to all of them. Thank you so much. If there's something that, we feel like we can answer or discuss on the show, we will absolutely play those. And if you want to record a video like George did, just email us the link to where the video was. George put his up on YouTube, worked really well. We'll try to play them in a future episode of iPad Today. Thank you in advance. All right, Eileen, I'm going to go ahead and give you another break and a little time to put on your app cap.
Oh.
While I take a moment to thank Slingbox for sponsoring this episode of iPad Today. You actually have the Slingbox app on your iPad, don't you?
I do, and I was going to play it for you, but the Wi-Fi was acting a little weird here.
Oh, Wi-Fi.
Of course.
You and your Wi-Fi. Because you guys have a Sling player at home.
We do, yeah.
And, so this is the thing. You need an internet connection for Slingbox app on your iPad to work. But if you're unfamiliar with what's a Sling player and what is a Slingbox anyway, Slingbox actually has a really nice tutorial video on their website. We're showing it at slingbox.com/twit that gives you a better sense of how it works. But the idea is that you get a Slingbox and you hook it up to your TV. This is actually, this is like a box. You can buy one at Best Buy, and you hook it up to your TV and you connect to the internet. And okay, well, let me just tell you about actually the new Slingbox 500, because this is the really cool one. This is the sleek one that looks like, some sort of like a spaceship thing. It's got built-in Wi-Fi. It's got HDMI connectivity. It's got full HD 1080p video out. That's very important, especially some of you Slingbox users who say, well, HD would have been nice. Yeah, you get that now. With the new Slingbox and the Slingbox app, you can watch live high-def television on. Where can you watch it? Your smartphone, your laptop, your tablet, anywhere that you have a working internet connection. Think about that for a second. You've got a Sling player at home, you've connected to, DirecTV, let's say, or what do you guys have at home? Comcast?
We have DirecTV.
You have DirecTV.
Yeah,
so
you get the remote for DirecTV,
the whole thing,
and everything, and it's the same one that you get that comes with DirecTV. You also get a specific guide. I wish I could show you. You get through Slingbox. They know your guide with DirecTV, and you can watch anything that you've put on your DVR.
Right. Or live stuff.
Or live. So sports.
Exactly.
When the World Series is going on, could have taken my iPad anywhere that has Wi-Fi, and boom,
you watch it. Yeah, even if you're in an area, well, pretty much everybody plays the World Series, but think about all of the times that you might be away from home, and it's like, oh, maybe there's a local show that you're into, or oh, you DVR'd this whole season of a certain show, and you were gonna sit down and watch it, and there's like 7 hours, but you're not at home anymore, and oh, darn it. Well, it's as if you've got your living room with you wherever you're going. You actually take all of that information, whether it's live TV, whether it's stuff that you saved, anything like that. And as Eileen said, she's got a DirecTV at home, so she's got this DirecTV remote that she's sort of memorized, and she knows how it works. And there's a virtual remote that goes on the app when she's traveling on her iPad. So everything kind of looks the same. And you've got a smaller screen than your living room TV, but everything else is the same.
The quality,
you can rewind and fast forward.
Totally, the quality, if you have a strong Wi-Fi connection, is great. I watched Dexter on my iPad through the Slingbox app, and it was really, really good because I have the HD signal that I had recorded on my DirecTV, and it piped in really, really nicely. I was very impressed. I said, "Oh my goodness, this is much better."
There you go.
So, and then I think the apps too, they went down in price a little bit. I think they were
absolutely. And you don't need, if you're thinking, well, I've already got a cable package, and boy, this is all adding up. You don't need special packages. You don't you don't have monthly fees. This is something, you get your Slingbox app going, and you're good to go. And this is, it's one-time stuff. You don't have to miss anything that you want to watch, and you can watch it in HD. I mentioned Best Buy, but that's not the only place that you can get a Slingbox. You can get one at Amazon as well. Fry's, if you've got a Fry's nearby you. You can go into one of the stores and just see, I don't know, get a feel for what it looks like and how it might fit in your living room. Or you can, of course, check it out, again, at slingbox.com/twit. We love Slingbox, especially because I like the idea of my iPad becoming my television. In fact, I asked Tom the other day, well, I don't have, a cable package, so what about Boxy TV? And you could do that too.
Yeah.
You can work a Slingbox with the amount of channels that you have, even if you don't have that many. If you're a sad little cord cutter like myself, Slingbox is it is doable, and it is awesome.
It's going to be handy for me when I go to LA and I have all these. I'm going to go to LA for a couple months before Tom comes down.
Yeah.
And all my shows are still going to be recording, and I can just fire up Slingbox. Well, I have to tell Tom not to be watching anything on that TV at the time.
Or you guys can fight because you can change the channel remotely from your app.
Exactly.
And
I'm going to want to watch.
Make it uncomfortable.
The Voice, and he's just going to say, no, I want to watch this, and we'll just fight, from two different cities.
All right, Eileen, it is that time. I apparently am the Lone Ranger today.
And I've seen you wear this before.
Yeah, aw.
Oh,
it's perfect.
Oh, it's so perfect for today.
It is perfect. Don't you just look like a little R2-D2 Mickey Mouse Katir? Well, you have that one, there's that one picture of you. It's like one of your profile pictures.
It's my Facebook picture.
It's your Facebook picture.
I met R2-D2, and so I did the whole Leia thing where, she's giving the plans to R2 before being captured by Darth Vader in Star Wars: A New Hope.
See, you just, does it get better?
I've not changed that profile picture, too. Actually, the other day I thought, I should update. This is so old.
It's good, though.
It's kind of cute, right?
Yeah, I don't know. It's like, I think that's why I associate it with you, because some people update their profile pictures and you're like, I don't know. It's like, I don't know who you are anymore. Personal branding.
Exactly.
Keep it consistent. Hey, so this is the part of the show where me and Leo, or whoever happens to be sitting next to me, Eileen today, talk about an app that we just like. Sort of like the app pick of the week, and we wear hats while we're talking about our apps, and we call them App Caps, and that's the segment of the show. It's the App Cap Awards!
Woo!
Yay! Okay, so my app is called, you don't mind if I go first, do you?
No.
Okay. It's called Fave, and it's very cutesy, spelled F-A-Y-V-E. So, I was like, Fave, what's so great about this? I actually really like this. So Fave is what is recommended for me. And at first I thought, is this like a second screen thing? It's not really. It's actually more of a recommendation engine based on the kinds of shows that I rate.
Ooh, this is great. I just love the look of it already.
Yeah, it's very neat. You can sort of play around with it. So let's actually go into in theaters now.
Okay.
So it's this kind of looks like a marquee here. We're going to go ahead and load it up. This is currently showing. This is stuff that friends liked. Now, the friends liked area, that's probably a little bit weird because I have almost no friends on Fave already, but if you and I were friends, then some of your data would start propagating in here.
Oh, do you want to see my data?
Yeah, well, I want to know what you like. I know Twilight will be one of your very favorites. But so if I'm like, okay, well, what's Pusher? I don't know what Pusher is. I'm not familiar with that movie.
Oh, that sounds familiar.
It goes ahead and loads up something about a drug dealer, vicious crime boss. I'd probably want to watch that.
Who's in it?
Cast and crew, Louis Prieto, Richard Coyle, Bronson Webb, Agnes. I don't know any of these people. There doesn't seem to be much available, but it is available on Fandango. So this is kind of like, at this point I can say, yeah, take me over the Fandango app. I wanna go ahead and buy tickets for this, or I could just add it to my wish list, or I could share it with you if I was like, oh, Eileen, this seems like your movie. So you go ahead and hit Fandango. You say yes, buy on Fandango, and then at this point, it actually doesn't kick me over to the app, which is sort of annoying because I do have the Fandango app on this iPad, or do I? I know I have it on my iPhone. Before I say that, let me make sure.
Oh,
Fandango. I don't. Okay, so cool. So Fave is not doing me wrong here. It would open in the Fandango app if I had it. Okay, so that's this movie. That's fine. What about new arrivals? That's kind of cool. So this is where it gets interesting to me because I spend a lot of time trying to figure out what to watch because I can't just sit around watching cable TV all day. You know, I don't have those channels. So do I want stuff that's new TV shows on iTunes?
That's cool.
Yeah, and it goes ahead and loads that stuff up. So last week, Alcatraz and Terra Nova came to iTunes.
You could pass.
Yeah, on both of those.
Well, I never watched Terra Nova, but I heard it was horrible.
Yeah, I don't know. We got some Real Housewives here. We got Friends. We got Parks and Rec. So you know, this is stuff that has been recently added. iTunes Movies, same thing. So this is just a good way for me to be able to browse iTunes in a different way. And what's great is I am a Hulu Plus member.
Oh, okay.
So Hulu Plus movies and TV shows. I do not like browsing Hulu Plus. Now, Hulu Plus on Apple TV is better than Hulu Plus on Roku, but it's still not that fun to browse. And if I've got this open already, this is just a nice little way of like saying, oh, cool, this week, Elevate and Crazy Eyes and
Crazy
Goodnight
Eyes.
Justice were all added to Hulu Plus. Crackle, same thing. Crackle I have as an app on my Roku.
Yeah.
So it's like I could just look at this first before I get too deep into something. You know, like just an app that I'm going to waste time on. Gods Must Be Crazy. That's why not watch that on Crackle? Now, there's filters too. So I can say, all right, well, what I'm actually really interested in is not stuff that's on Redbox, for example. I've already unchecked that.
Oh, yeah.
Because I don't have a Redbox account.
Yeah.
I do have an Amazon account. I do have a Hulu Plus. But let's say you didn't. You could just uncheck that. I have a Netflix Instant, but not DVD. If you have Netflix DVD, you can turn that on too. And I had also hooked up my Netflix account earlier when I first installed Fave, so that some of that information, like my Netflix favorites and stuff that's in the queue, I could also control from here.
That's cool.
Yeah. So this is just. It's kind of cool. Okay, so before I say it's perfect in every way, it isn't, because the YouTube area was something where I was like, well, YouTube, that's cool. I mean,
that's a lot of content.
That's a lot of content, exactly.
What happens?
And what's available when I'm looking for TV shows? I mean, are we talking like web series or what?
Yeah, or movies, because you could watch movies on.
Yeah, or
purchase.
anything, exactly. And again, our internet is horrible right now, but earlier, it was pulling up stuff like Amelie, where I was like, wait a second, I could watch that on YouTube? And no, the answer is no, I can't. I can watch it on iTunes.
Oh.
So Fave got a little confused.
Okay,
Fave got a little confused. Okay, yeah, so on YouTube, if I wanted to watch, something that's like Confessions of a Teenage Drama Queen, is that really available on YouTube? No, it's available on Netflix and iTunes.
That's confusing. So maybe that YouTube area will be populated.
Yeah, I think
soon.
It's probably just a bug because this app is new. That did not get a good review, by the way, on Rotten Tomatoes. That's also something that Fave gives me 13%. Not worth my time. I've been burned too many times before. But if I want to just go ahead and say, let's add it to.
I'm gonna give it a chance.
Yeah. You know what? Maybe Lindsay Lohan is just better than everybody said she was. I can go ahead and add it to my queue because, again, I had already hooked up my account in Netflix. So I like this. It's not perfect, but I think really it's a better discovery engine for what's hot on a variety of places that people are watching content, especially for people who are kind of like, I'm looking for a new series or just something. You've got this really, really neat visual way to look at a lot of stuff here.
That's so gorgeous.
Yeah, and depending on what genre you're looking in, I mean, if I'm in the mood for love, I've got Benjamin Button's The Notebook, The Holiday, The Proposal, P.S. I Love You. God, what a horrible category. I'd rather pick something else. like Breaking Bad.
There we go.
Yeah, that's my category. So yeah, that's Fave. It was free to download, and I like it. I think it's pretty fun.
That looks really good. I'm gonna give that a shot. I use Fanhattan right now. I'm sure you guys have talked about that before.
Yeah, we have.
As sort of my new TV guide, because a lot of times there's a tab there that says what's on today. I'm like, oh great, because I'm too lazy to pull up the DirecTV guide.
Right.
I'm like, I could just have it right on my iPad.
Yeah.
But that is a really cool use in UI. Love it.
Well, I'm glad. I'm glad that you love it. So, Eileen, what is your app cap today?
It has something to do with the hat that I'm wearing, everybody.
Does it?
You know, you guys know Angry Birds.
Yes.
You guys know Angry Birds Space. I will admit I skipped Angry Birds Space. I played Angry Birds all the way through, skipped Space, and I heard that was fantastic.
Now, why did you skip it?
I just
You're
didn't
just
have
like,
time.
I don't care.
I heard a lot of good things about it, but I just didn't have time. But then they came out with Angry Birds Star Wars.
Yeah.
And essentially what it does is it basically combines Angry Birds and Angry Birds Space and puts you into the Star Wars universe. And I believe this was kind of built before Disney bought Lucasfilm. Here we go. You get the theme song. I mean, already.
That's so cute.
It's a little cartoon. Okay, here's where it gets a little cutesy. And then you just hit play, and you've got, you start off in Tatooine, which I have cleared. I'm so excited. And then you can move on to the Death Star level, and then soon a free update with Hoth.
Oh my gosh.
Then there's the Path of the Jedi, and then there's some bonus here. I will start off and show you essentially what's happening here with the game is that you are playing through Star Wars.
Oh my
You're
gosh.
playing through the cutscenes.
Oh my gosh.
You're playing
I
and
love
you
that.
are going to be Luke Skywalker from the very beginning on Tatooine. This is very simple here. It's just a typical, here's Luke. Oops, sorry Luke. You just do your typical flinging. You know, hi-ya. I don't know why he hi-yas. That's not what he does.
That's not very Star Wars.
It's not very Star Wars-y.
Well, they're, still angry, I guess.
But if I show you another level, which I have broken, which is actually more fun, let's try 17. I'm not quite sure what that is. Who do we get? Here's Han Solo. Han Solo Angry Bird looks like this. Now listen up. Oh yeah. Yahoo! And then you've got, I haven't even seen Princess Leia yet. I'm still just getting
She hasn't even shown up?
She hasn't shown up yet because we're still rescuing her. And where
that's
I
right,
am.
of course.
So later though, so I am in the Death Star area right now. And again, you will get Princess Leia later. I'm still trying to find her. But right now, I have, let's see if he's here. Please tell me this is it. Oh no, this is still Han. Sorry. I want to show you guys Chewbacca because Chewbacca rocks my world. As this huge, oh, he's not here. Dang it. Hold on. I'm going to find him, I promise. Oh, you have to see Chewbacca because he's just furry. And please tell me this is him. Oh, these are rebel fighters. Sorry. So you get.
This is awesome.
I know,
though.
right?
This is more. I don't know what I thought, but I didn't realize that there was so much integration with Star Wars.
This is Obi-Wan, and he has force fields. So you fling him, and then you go, oh. And he kind of slows down, or that force field, if I had done it right, could have like exploded this stormtrooper here.
Oh, I
They
got
all
it.
have different
superpowers.
And
Yeah.
Luke later, and I should show you actually before I show Chewie, he has a lightsaber, which is so cool. Let's see if I can find him. Sorry, I should have remembered which numbers. Let's see.
Well, I mean, you're so far along in the game. I
am.
think you should just be proud of
Here we
yourself.
go. Watch, just watch.
I mean, you're.
Oh, did you see the lightsaber with Luke?
How many times do you have to do this before you're like, oh yeah, there's a lightsaber?
Well, they tell you. There's a
Okay.
cutscene
Yeah,
that'll
yeah,
break,
yeah.
and they'll say, "Oh, by the way, you can do this now."
Right.
Which is very, very handy. Let's see if I can find. I know I just found Chewie just recently. I know he's here. He's here, you guys. You guys have to see him because he's amazing. Oh, is this it? Oh yeah. Here is Chewie. And all you do
He's
is
just fat.
He's just fat and huge, and you. Did you hear? And it goes on and on and on. I mean, essentially, some of these cutscenes are just sort of like, oh, this is later. I can take the Millennium Falcon and do fun things with that. I mean, this is so. If you love Star Wars, if you're a big Star Wars geek, and again, like this is very similar from what I understand to Angry Birds Space, so that you've got sort of gravity, you've got some physics here involved, and you just have to. This took me a while actually to. Whoa, what happened here? This took me a while to, I went the wrong way. Goodness gracious, I'm freaking out here. There we go. Let's see. No, it didn't work. You gotta push those blocks so that it'll kill all these stormtroopers around here. This is loads of fun. I have been playing and I've been obsessed.
Now, is there just one Angry Birds Star Wars, or is there an HD version?
There's an HD version. I bought the HD version.
Yeah, because the regular version is, I think, 99 cents, and this has got to be more than that.
Yeah, this is $2.99.
$2.99.
Yeah.
Okay.
$2.99 in the App Store. I think it's well worth it.
I mean, how long did it take you to get as far as you are now?
2.5 days, I think.
Okay.
2 days of like sitting for while I'm watching TV.
Right.
So a couple hours.
Pretty regularly, and you've got all
Sunday.
sorts of stuff that you haven't gotten to or unlocked yet. So.
Yeah, exactly. There's a whole crazy hard level. This section here, the bonus level, I'm terrible at. I mean, actually, here I could show you R2. R2 is in the bonus level, and I don't understand what I'm doing here. But there he is. I think you're supposed to break. Oh, look at that. Oh, that's bonus. And I think R2 and C-3PO will probably show up later.
Right.
I don't know why they're not, or maybe they're just in the bonus. I'm not quite sure. I'm still discovering, as you could tell, but I'm having a load of fun. If you're a big Star Wars fan, this is probably going to be fun for you.
Oh yeah. This holiday season, get the family together.
Oh yeah.
If you've got like Star Wars family members who just don't realize how much they would enjoy this, I think that's a no-brainer.
Oh, totally. Gift it. If you are wanting to take a nap and your kids are wanting to play on the iPad, give them Angry Birds Star Wars. I bet it's going to be really, really fun.
Well, Eileen, I loved that app cap. That was really good. I'm so confused as to why Leo wouldn't have made that his app cap yet. I think we were like, hey, Star Wars is coming out. Isn't that going to be cool? And then we kind of forgot to revisit it. So I'm glad you brought it to the table today.
Oh, I love it. Fun, fun, fun.
Well, we've come to the end of our show.
I can't believe it.
I know. It went by so fast. I hope you enjoyed it.
I had a great time. Thanks for asking me.
Well, thanks for saying yes. And, especially since this is kind of technically your last week coming up to TWiT regularly.
Yeah, so I head down to LA next weekend. So, this is kind of my swan song with the hat and everything.
Well, we'd have it no other way. I'm going to make you howl in a second, too. So.
Yes, please. I forgot about that.
Well, thanks so much, Eileen Rivera. She's going to YouTube, but she's still going to be part of the TWiT family now and forever. Thanks to you, and thanks to everybody for watching this episode of iPad Today. Leo will be back next week. In fact, he and I are going to be shooting, no, that's not right. Not next week. Next week, we're gone for Thanksgiving. I will not be here, and neither will Leo. The week after that, Leo will be back. We'll both be here. We're actually going to be shooting, I think, like 3 shows that week because we're starting to bank shows for the holiday. But I'll tell you more about that the week that we do them. So in the meantime, everybody have a lovely Thanksgiving if you are celebrating it. If not, just try to eat some pumpkin pie in our honor. We'll see you next time on iPad Today. Ow!